Hey there, welcome back to Move Mountains Pilates. My name is Jess and I have your second week of your March Madness Recap here for you. Now, I'm combining the true March Madness classical schedule and the Club Pilates schedule because I know a lot of you are Club Pilates people. So this way you have accessible options to do in case those more advanced typical options don't work for you or your back or your spine. So we have options, we have lots of preps to build our way through. I've mixed around the order once again today just to make it flow better and feel better on your body. So let's get to it. All you need is you and your mat, not even a mat if you don't have one. And then we're gonna start seated. Okay, so starting seated, we'll have our legs about mat width apart, wider than hips. Ideally straight, but if you're feeling a little bit tight, feel free to bend your knees. I might start with my knees a little bit bent because this is the first movement thing I've done today, so I am a little bit extra stiff. Now, we're gonna reach the arms forward, shoulder height, palms face in. Inhale, grow taller. Nod your chin, exhale, reach yourself forwards, folding over your legs. And then stack yourself up tall, hands back, shoulder height. So this is your first March Madness move of the day. It is your spine stretch forwards. And as the name suggests, it is about the stretch. You get a lovely stretch through your back and through your hamstrings as you fold forwards. But this is still classified as an exercise. So to find the work, you need to actively fold forwards, almost like you're going up and over a big beach ball. It's not about reaching far forwards and really going for the stretch. It's about folding. And then stacking up with lots of control, really sitting tall in between. And maybe as you warm up, your legs get straighter. Exhale, you fold forward. Inhale, stay. Exhale, stack up, grow really, really tall, settle the shoulders down. We'll do a couple more. I really like to visualize like I'm a puppet here, essentially. So you have strings attached to your fingers pulling you forwards even though you're trying to resist that. And then you've got a string pulling you all the way up from the crown of your head. Exhale, you resist going forwards. Oh my gosh, I can feel my abs so much more now. Inhale, stay. Exhale, stack up really, really tall. Find the work. This is definitely one of those moves where you might not get it at first. You might be like, okay, I feel a stretch, but like, what's the point? But through building your mind-body awareness, you're going to be able to tell the muscles you want to work when you want them to work. And therefore, you'll get more out of this. Let's try one more. Folding forwards, rounding as much as possible, not necessarily going forwards as much as possible. And then stacking really, really tall. I forget if I said one or two, so let's do one more. And then stack up. Good. Okay, relax those shoulders. Next is your saw. So carrying on from that, we're staying seated tall. We're gonna open the arms wide. We'll start with a couple of twists. Inhale to one side, exhale through center, inhale to the other side. Growing really tall. Same option to bend your knees if that makes you feel taller. Or you could sit yourself up on a little block or something. Whatever works. We'll do one more twist per side, warming up the spine in this direction, and then carrying it into your full swan. We twist, fold forwards and reach to the opposite pinky toe. Stack up tall, still in your twist, and then unwind through center. Twist, fold forwards to the side, stack up tall in your twist, then unwind. As you reach to that opposite toe, as you fold, your back thumb turns to face the floor. And then it naturally flips up as you grow tall. So you twist, as you fold, the back thumb flips down. And then it flips up as you sit tall in that twist still, then unwind through center. And that's just gonna feel more comfortable through your shoulder girdle. We inhale to twist around, exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, stack up really tall, exhale, unwind. Same idea here. You've got those puppet strings attached and you're getting pulled over to your twist, pulled forwards through the side, And then stacking up tall like there's a string pulling your head to the sky. Kind of resisting that forward fold. Stacking up really, really tall, then unwind. Let's do one more per side. Okay, then last March Madness, I discovered a little saw / roll-up combo that I love. So we're gonna try that. Bring your feet just parallel in line with the center of each hip. We'll start with some half rollbacks. Arms reach forwards, you scoop back halfway. Pause there, then sit up tall. A couple of those. And maybe you just stay with this or you stay with your saw. We're gonna add in a twist. Sweep one arm to the side, sit up tall. So maybe this is where you stay if your full roll-up doesn't work for you. You'll know after last week's video if the roll-up works well for you or not. Last one. And then try rolling down all the way. Get your whole back connected and try to move slowly. Then from the bottom, we combine this with saw. Instead of rolling up through center, I want you to sweep your arm to the side, twist over to one side and fold to that one side. Stack up tall still in your twist, then unwind as you roll back down. You guide the way with the arms. Curl up, sweep it over to one side, stack up in that twist, then unwind through center as you roll down. And we'll just try one more per side, just a little taste of this one. I find that this feels really lovely for my back. You get that nice stretch and strength happening. But it might not be for everyone, so no worries if it's not for you. Or if the coordination is just too much right now, that's fine. Finish off evenly here. And then let's just roll up back to seated. We'll stay seated again. Fold over your legs, enjoy that stretch, make it more relaxed. Just let your head drop. Maybe you turn your head side to side. Okay, moving on. Our next March Madness move is open leg rocker. Now this is not a Club Pilates March Madness move. This is just an overall March Madness move in the Pilates world. So if your back doesn't like a lot of flexion, a lot of rolling, if you didn't do well last week with rolling like a ball, this one won't be for you. But we have lots of preps. So we're gonna start with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and basically a half roll back. I'm gonna have you grab the back of your thighs for this. Scoop back, find that letter C shape. And then instead of sitting all the way tall, try just lifting your chest. And then roll back, scoop. Maybe you look at the pubic bone. And then you just lift your chest. Eye gaze goes up the ceiling a little bit. You'll do a couple more. Notice that I'm not sitting all the way tall. I'm not coming all the way up. Instead, my tail stays somewhat tucked, but my chest lifts. I'm kind of in a leaning back position. Sort of like your teaser pose, that J curve with the tail tucked and then the upper spine long. That's our open leg rocker movement, is kind of that J curve at the top each time. Now we're gonna add on from that scoop, extend one leg as you lift your chest. And then put the foot down, look back at the pubic bone, other leg. Harder with feet closer towards you because that's gonna make you a little bit more tight in that kind of J curve, half teaser position. Let's just do one more per side, warming up your spine more than anything else, getting used to that little lift of your chest each time. And then you could just stick with that. Otherwise, can you lift both legs? Lift the chest and then tap your toes down, round the back a little bit. Lift the chest, lift your toes, and then you round back. Finding that mobility in your pelvis. Let's do one more. Just kind of getting the body used to this. And then relax. We'll take it into your full open leg rocker, which is basically just like you're rolling like a ball. So maybe let's start with that. We'll start with that. You did it last week, but we'll do a couple here to warm you up. Make sure you have lots of space behind you. Feet are somewhat close to your bum, about like a mini stability ball distance apart. Hands hold the ankles so you're scooped and you're staring at your thighs. Let's roll back just onto the shoulders and then find your balance at the top. Inhale, you scoop it back. Exhale, find your balance. The head never touches the floor. And your body weight just goes between the shoulders each time, not so much on the neck at all. My neck's completely off the floor. So very similar to your open leg rocker we're going into. Take a break, and then we'll take it there. This open leg rocker requires lots of hamstring length. So if it doesn't work, you're gonna do knees bent, and you can grab your ankles. Legs for this one are apart. So maybe you just stay with this, but if you can, try it legs long, grabbing your ankles. Feet are about shoulder width. Your chest is lifted. This is the spot we're going up to each time where you're in that J curve, tail tucked, chest lifted. You're not staying scooped the whole time. That's the difference here between rolling like a ball and open leg rocker. Let's do it. That's enough chit chat. Scoop back, roll onto your shoulders, and then find your balance at the top. Lift the chest. Trickier to balance for sure. Scoop it back. Don't kick your wall. Give yourself some good space and keep going. Inhale, you scoop it back. Exhale, lift your chest. And notice how your hands grabbing your ankles sort of help to pull your chest up at the top each and every time. You lift your chest, you pull those ankles towards you, and you pull your chest to your ankles. Try and get that little thoracic lengthening at the top each time. Let's try 3 more. And again, maybe you do this with knees bent instead, or you do one of those other options we've already done. It's not for every spine, and that's okay. Finish off, and then relax. Good. Now let's flip it all the way over to our bellies. Our next exercise, we'll fix the mat. Our next exercise is called one leg kick. It's as it suggests. This one gives me teenage girl reading magazines on her bedroom floor vibes. Very specific, but once we do it, you'll know what I mean. Now, traditional setup for this one is elbows right underneath shoulders, so you're propped up, kind of a Sphinx pose in yoga, I think they call it. You lift your chest. You don't want to slump through your low back and shoulders. If you're staying here, push through your forearms, lift your belly off the floor if you can, and send shoulders wide and down. Now, if that doesn't feel good, just drop it right down to forehead on hands. Your legs are parallel, so knees and toes face down, legs either together or just 2 inches apart, up to you. Now, let's start simple. Reconnect through your core, push through those forearms. You're gonna kick one leg in, back off, kick it in again, and then lower. So 2 little kicks, and you're changing sides each time. Kick, kick, lower. Kick, kick, lower. Imagine like you're moving through molasses here. You have something sticky to move through. Find that work to really pull your heel towards your bum. Actively engaging that hamstring to shorten it up, pulling your foot to the bum. Now, the full choreography involves the ankles moving more. So we're gonna point the toe on the first one. The second kick in, you flex the ankle, then you lower. So it's a point, flex, lower. Point, flex, lower. Imagining like you're moving through that molasses. Find that work through your hamstrings, moving fairly slow and lots of control. Reset those shoulders, push away from the floor, lift the belly. Your breath is 2 sniff exhales and then an inhale to lower. Exhale, exhale, inhale, lower. Let's go for another 4, 3. Finish evenly, and then lower down. Good. So that's one leg kick. Now your next one is double leg kick. For this one, legs are glued together, and the choreography of the legs is literally going to be 2 little kicks, but then legs will go wide and apart, and then back in for 2 little kicks. Okay, so that's the leg choreography. But then we have the upper body. And again, if your low back's not feeling it today, just leave that out and rest your forehead on your hands and just do the legs. Otherwise, we're gonna interlock the fingers with them on the low back, and your head will be turned over to one side. So legs glue, tail roots down, and the elbows will be slumped towards the floor as you get situated. Now we do those 2 little kicks, and then we send the legs long and apart, and we lift the chest using the grip of the hands together to pull the chest open. And then as we land, we turn the head to the other side, and we do those 2 little kicks again. And then we lift. So kick, kick, send it up. I forget if it's 2 kicks or 3, to be honest. So maybe play with that and figure out what feels best for you. I think it's on the 3rd one that you go and lift. So it's 2 little kicks and then a lift. Definitely some choreography. Really enjoy that chest expansion as you reach through those hands. Moving through molasses. Kick, kick, and then lift. Kick, kick, lift. Let's finish 2 more. Last one. Woo. Great job. Let's take a quick shell stretch. That was a lot on the back, and we have one more thing to do. So that was your single leg and then double leg kick. Definitely a lot of coordination. That's why I hardly ever teach those ones. I feel like there's other ones that are less confusing that give you more work, but that's the classic repertoire. Some things we do, some things we hardly ever do. Next is something we do all the time, swan. So we're gonna get back down to the belly. Legs go mat width, turned out laterally, tail is tucked down, and we've got our forearms flat on the mat. And I like to bring mine away from the body, so about mat width apart so you're not squished. And I like to drag the elbows down towards the hips as much as possible before the elbows want to lift. And that should give you a good spot. Usually knuckles are in line with your shoulders. Make sure elbows are completely flat down though. Then, starting with a little prep, we're gonna just lift the head, lift your chest. How high can you go while keeping your elbows down? And then lengthen back down. Neck is long, shoulder blades slide together and down. Glutes are squeezing the whole time, legs are active for support. Now maybe this is where you stay. That's perfectly fine if that's where you stay. This is more upper spine focused, so it's a really good spot to be at, a really good place to work because that's usually where we're the most tight through extension. Now, if it is feeling good, let's start the same way. Leave the elbows down for as long as possible, but then let the elbows lift off the floor and find your biggest extension. And then control it back down. Lead the way by keeping elbows down. That way you get into the thoracic extension first, then the low back comes on and helps out, lifting up all the way. We'll do a couple more like that. Shoulders, stay away from ears. It's less of a push and more of a pull. You're really controlling that lengthening up, squeezing the glutes and pulling your belly button in and up, giving you that core connection from underneath as well. Now maybe you stay with this. Technically the full exercise is called swan dive, and there is kind of a diving motion to it. So our next option, you need space all around you, really front and behind you. I think I'll be good right around here. Now, you lift up into your extension, and only if this is feeling good for you. We're gonna hold this extension, squeeze the glutes. The goal is to hold this boat-like shape the whole time. Then, as you tip forwards, can you reach the arms forwards? Let the feet go above the head, then catch yourself as you rise up. So you just dive forwards and then catch. Dive and then catch. It's like a teeter-totter. Your feet go up as you go down. Flinging around. This may or may not be for you. Totally fine if it's not for you. It's definitely not for everybody. Now, the fullest progression is leaving your arms above your head the entire time. Maybe that's something you try, maybe not. I'll give it a try in case there's anyone else out there wanting to give it a go. So we lengthen up, and this time, once we dive forwards, the arms just stay above the head. I haven't done this in a while. We'll see how I do. When you're ready, we reach, and we hold that, and we're rocking, squeezing the glutes, reaching through those fingers. Last one. Woo! Shell stretch. It's hard to talk during that. I'm sure for most of you that was more entertainment for you rather than you doing it with me. So I hope you enjoyed watching me flail around. So again, something that we do all the time, that typical swan, leaving hands down, and something we hardly ever do because it's not for most bodies. So that was fun. My heart rate's up. So you don't need to go on a run to do cardio. You just need to rock around like an idiot on your mat, and there's your cardio. All right, one more breath in your shell. Really stretch out that low back. And then let's flip it back over, lie on your back. Now, the open leg rocker was one that we don't teach at Club Pilates. And then the final exercise we're gonna get to later on is another one we don't teach. So instead, they've incorporated scissors and double leg lift and lowers. So that's where we're going. We're on our backs. For these scissors, we're gonna reach the leg straight to the sky, nod the chin, and curl up. You're staring at your thighs. Try to grab your calves. If your head doesn't like being up or if your neck doesn't like it, leave the head down, that's fine. We're gonna scissor the legs. One goes down, the other pulls towards you, and we switch. Now, typical choreography, we have a little pulse. So we open the leg, we pulse deeper. Open, pulse deeper. Exhale, exhale, inhale, switch. Hands are pulling that calf in deeper towards you each time, enhancing the hamstring stretch. But if you prefer one or both hands behind the head, that's cool too. Make it work for you. Let's keep going for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take a break. Good job. Okay, now the next one is double leg lift and lower, or just lower lift, I think they call it. So let's leave the head down, arms by your sides, legs reach straight to the sky. On your exhale, legs lower. Inhale, legs lift. Holding your imprint really strong, ribs to hips. And that's all it is, lowering and lifting your legs, but only going so low that you can hold your imprint, even if that means you're just going to a diagonal. And if you'd rather stick with that scissor because that feels better in your low back today, that's fine too. We'll do about 3 more. And I think this is the choreography. This is not one in the stop Pilates repertoire, but a quick Google seems like that this is what it is in maybe the classical repertoire. Let's finish off and then hug the knees. Okay, we only have one more March Madness move, and it's called corkscrew. So this is one that, again, isn't usually taught at Club Pilates if you're a Club Pilates person. That doesn't mean you can't necessarily do it though. It depends on your back. If you don't have anything going on with your back, great, maybe you give it a go. If you've got like disc issues and things like that, maybe you don't give it a go. So listen to your body. You could stick with any of those other options we've done today if you want to practice those some more. Otherwise, we're gonna start with rollover, which I think was a move from last week. So let's use that as a prep. We'll use the prep for that prep first. Arms by your sides. We're gonna lower the legs, and as we lift your bum 2 inches. Send the legs down and away. So it's like your lower and lift, but with that little reverse crunch. Maybe this is where you stay. Whoop, watch out for your string lights. Then we're gonna go all the way up and over. We lift, we curl up, pressing through the arms, legs go overhead, and then let's just lower back down again. Lots of control. Let's try one more like that. Right through center, pressing through those arms to help. And your body weight again here is between the shoulders, not so much on the neck. Now corkscrew is getting that one all twisted up. So instead of going, I think actually we'll start from the top. So let's get up there first. Roll up and over, legs parallel to the floor, ideally at the top. Then instead of rolling down through center, we twist, the hips go to one side, and we roll down on one side of the back. Legs sweep around, and you roll up and over that other side. Recenter for a sec, then roll back down the side you just came up. Send the legs down and away, scoop it up and over to that other side. Recenter, roll down that side you just came up, and keep going. The tricky thing for me is switching directions, but you always roll down the side that you just came up through. If that's too tricky though, feel free to just kind of circle around in one direction and then switch and lead the other way. We'll finish off another 3, maybe 4. Lots of control here. Try not to just fling yourself around, but instead actively using your core and using those arms too to help. Let's finish up about 1 more. And then we'll roll back down through center. Hug the knees, rock it out. And you can come up to a seated position when you're ready. Okay, so another week of March Madness in the books. I hope you feel good. It's definitely some wonkier things that I personally don't teach a whole lot, so I hope you had fun playing around with some of those classic moves. I will see you again next week for another recap, as well as a second video as well. I'm going to throw in a nice glute and hamstring burner in between at the start of the week too. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I would so appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, you guys.